Hey, Gavox here. So EA came out with a new Madden 21 trailer about basically, what they're marketing, what they worked on this year, what they fixed, and of course, it's gameplay related. It's stuff we've kind of seen in their marketing materials, but I don't know. I guess I'll give my thoughts to this whole thing on what I'm feeling and why I see Flight dominating 21,
Our
of
goal
course.
in Madden
So
21
let's get to
is
it.
to deliver complete control to our players on both sides of the ball. As the rising generation of stars change the game every single week, we're changing with them, and this all starts at the line of scrimmage. The pass rush can control a modern NFL game, and we're introducing all new defensive line mechanics to make playing as a pass rusher both more responsive and more fun to play.
That's some real FTC stuff right there. So, pass rushing D linemen. Something we really hasn't seen like considerably in the meta since like 15, when you used to be able to get home in like 1.5 seconds, basically. So, obviously, some players, it's rare, but some players have been using D line, like, the title of the video says. And this next game seems to kind of like implement that and take that to the next level. Now, a lot of the Madden community are very elitist about their users needing to be on like linebackers, DBs, guys like roaming the field to cover routes. Now, that's just us, saying that. There's nothing like inherently true about that being the only way to user. So EA is trying to bring more user control to the D-line. Now, it's a lot simpler, and if you go against somebody that can get pressure on you in 1.5, 2 seconds with a D lineman, with like just, drop everybody, rush one D lineman, or run around. We've seen that issue, people running around the offensive line to get to you. It is a very frustrating scheme to play against. It is very easy to play on defense because you let the computer do the hard work, right? Usering routes, that kind of stuff. All you have to do is beat one guy. Now, the thing about this is that double team mechanics are in the game now that weren't in 15. So you can potentially double team these guys or highlight them. So having a quarterback with identifier might be an absolute need next year, like top of the meta, because if the meta shifts to D-line usering is now the most effective thing to do versus covering a route a few times, which I believe is more skillful, then the game shifted, and
it all
I like it. Let's keep going through this trailer. As they talk about the skill line, D-line skill maneuvers.
Control. All pass rush moves are now on the right stick and triggers, which allows you to perform the exact move you want every time.
Now, about this, I don't understand the triggers, right? Now, with the triggers, will they allow you, are they modifiers? If they're modifiers to the right stick, that's cool. But if it's just like, speed rush, power rush on the triggers, then it's kind of like, oh, I guess it's just like 6 things you can do with the right stick going directions, 4 directions, maybe even, 8 directions, but 4 directions and then 2 like this, which I guess makes sense. 6 different moves. I'm guessing it's going to be speed rush, power rush, spin, power rush, bull rush, spin, rip, club, and what do you think the other one? Double juke, maybe? I said swim. Fuck. What's another good one? Chop would be speed. I don't know, dude.
The on-field trainer will bring more player feedback to the battle as well. You'll see how many moves or attempts you have on any given play, and we'll get a...
So you got an RT, a speed rush. That seemed pretty simple. So you had 4 move attempts. He did 1. And now he has 3 move attempts left that play.
Clear feedback if the move was successful or not.
Spin.
The new pass rush system in Madden 21 means playing D-line isn't just for the newcomers.
That looks like... That was the bull rush, that's power rush that I was talking about. Maybe that was LT, if speed's on the right trigger.
Anymore. It introduces a whole new strategy at the line of scrimmage built for all Madden players. Control on the offensive side of the ball is also getting an overhaul in Madden 20.
So overall, what do you guys think about D-line and Flight dominating 21? Potentially. I hate it, personally. I actually don't think it's very skillful. I think being able to just kind of press one button and run at the quarterback is literally the worst thing in Madden, right? The least skill gap mechanic is just timing one button press, right? It's like a quick time scene. Time one button press with the offensive lineman, get someone with high finesse, high power, and really just spam that. And then the quarterback has 1.5 seconds to get the ball away. And it's like, okay, this sucks. This is it, huh? Nice work, Madden. Love you.
21 with the skill stick ball carrier system. Like the superstars of this generation, we wanted to bring a new level of creativity and control to the field for our players.
One more thing I just thought about with the D-line thing, like if you identify the player their D-lineman's on, and then they switch over to another D-lineman ready to snap the ball, and you double team the original one, you're still fucked, right? So even that's not great, because there's easy counter meshes on the D-line to just switch spots. All right, let's go back.
Control on the offensive side of the ball is also getting an overhaul in Madden 21 with the skill stick ball carrier system. Like the superstars of this generation, we wanted to bring a new level of creativity and control to the field for our players to take advantage of. The right stick acts as your main control point between you, the defender, and the open field, and all the moves can be linked.
That's what we're talking about with Pursuit being kind of whack with 34.
Main control point between you, the defender, and the open field, and all.
Watch 34 here. Lamar's moved back this way. Watch 34 keep running.
All the moves can be linked together.
Sorry, I'll go back further.
Control point between you, the defender, and the open field, and all the moves can be linked together to create exciting skill moves at any moment. There are two.
That is pretty badass though, right? Those kind of skill moves. The only issue is we see defenders getting locked into animations. Getting locked into animations here, as I guess I should have done this with the other one. Right? This is the biggest frustration is, but the CPU players. As long as here's the thing. As long as user control players aren't getting locked into animations, I'm fine with this. All right, let's just go frame by frame. So he jukes there. He gets the block in. And then 23 is here, and he gets juked out and locked into an animation too. I don't love it, but you know what? User controlling.
Moment. There are two new moves that the skill stick is unlocked: the side hurdle or jurtle, and the dead leg.
Yeah, I like the dead leg the best. The jurtle seems very. The thing is, I don't know how well balanced it'll be. If you can just start hurdling over dudes and they're just randomly going into, like if they get sucked in that tackle animation, which we'll see in a second. And then you get side hurled over, it's like, oh, well, that's kind of powerful. But if jurtles provide a lot more fumbles like regular hurdles do this year, then whatever, nobody's going to use them. This dead leg is basically a juke by another name. But yeah, it's dead leg is what they call it.
The skill stick is unlocked: the side hurdle or jurtle, and the dead leg. These are more representative of the moves we're seeing from today's top ball carriers, and they can be linked together with the traditional jukes and spins to create endless combinations.
So, the jurtle, right? If it's not for regular tackles, if it's like it's supposed to be for cut sticks, which it was a few years ago, cut sticks stopped being in the meta because cut sticks stopped causing fumbles, right? So everyone went for big hitter hits. So, if the jurtle only works against cut sticks, we won't really see it this year at all because most people are going for high hit sticks too. Now, you know, let's play out through the tackling here. But I think here, they nailed the movement in 20. I thought 20's movement was much better than 19, so that's something that I'm optimistic about. This portion is one thing I'm definitely giving them a break on. Their movement on the offensive side of the ball, that is something I give them credit for doing, and I'm not going to shit on them for any of their improvements because they showed last year what they can do with it.
Specific animations will only be available to certain archetypes to ensure that only the best
archetypes are back
in the league are breaking ankles on the way to the end zone. To slow down the run this year, new breakdown tackling controls will help bring the elite ball carriers to a halt, balancing out the run game on defense. There's two major changes to see here. The first being a much more authentic representation of how the defenders get into position to make the play. You'll see defenders, both user and AI controlled, break down like they would in the real world and prepare for contact.
I love it.
This eliminates the guy.
Oh, this was great. This is something I don't love. What was 24 doing? All right, here we're 5 seconds. No, I love that they show the real clips too of it. That just helps illustrate what they're trying to go for. Absolute fucking phenomenal
down
job.
Like they would in the real world and prepare.
Look at this guy right here. Right here. This fucking guy. What was this?
Prepare for contact.
He was going for the interception. And he missed. Because he's an idiot.
This eliminates the guided missile feeling to some tackling, as well as the more jarring tackle moments we may have seen previously. Well-timed breakdown tackles will give defenders better control and a much higher chance of successfully tackling the oncoming player, giving up less broken tackles. Like any play, timing is key, and a mismatched tackle can still let the runner slip by. Outside of
So I'm really interested in how they're implementing this. Like, how are you going to break down? You have the left trigger to break down and then A to time it up and get them, right? Or are people just going to start going for hit sticks, right? They talk about the lack of guided missile, or how it felt like a guided missile, because hit sticks in the I mean, if we're going to go through the history of Madden tackling, which I'll just do like the last 5 years, we had suction tackles, right? We had that big cone in front of you, and then basically you hit A and you suction and you warped on and tackle that guy. They got rid of the cone. And then we get like, we still have a little bit of that. Hit sticks themselves would oftentimes like, once you do the hit stick and then if they kind of get near you, it kind of warp hit sticks you. So if like the warp hit sticks are back, people would still be going for those the majority of the time, which allows the ball carrier moves to kind of like play out a little bit better. So it really depends on what's more effective. If fumbling is high next year, people will still be going for hit sticks most of the times because they'll rather give up the chance at getting beat to cause a fumble, because a fumble is just absolutely devastating, you know, game changing in a game like Madden where there's only 4 possessions on each side. So I can see it totally being like a chess like in an ideal world, it being a chess match, right? I go for the hit stick to try and force the fumble. You use your ball carrier move, I get beat, right? And we'll see the ratio of getting beat to hit sticks landing. Or then if I get beat too much, then I start going conservative tackles, and then I start wrapping up. Whether I got to hit the left trigger and A to wrap up, or just kind of run up to him and the auto breaks down. So we'll see if you have to manually break down or if it auto breaks down. I would assume, based off the look of it, it auto breaks down. Because
defenders we may have seen previously. Well-timed breakdown tackles will give defenders better control and a much higher chance of successfully tackling the oncoming player, giving up less broken tackles. Like any play, timing is key, and a mismatched tackle can still let the runner slip by.
Probably if you mishit like A to tackle, you can let him get by. Or maybe the CPU just gets juked out.
Outside of all the new control players will have in Madden 21, some of the biggest updates we'll see is in the overall authenticity and presentation of each game, eliminating immersion breakers, making gameplay more authentic and realistic. You'll see players keeping their momentum as they run out of bounds, reaching for extra effort first downs, and diving for end zone pylons, making those key moments even more authentic.
Needed.
This also extends to the quarterback position, as all new...
A lot of people talked about how slow this quarterback rolled out. He's got no archetype, right? This is Tua. He has no star under him. He doesn't have a escape artist. And for those who don't know, quarterbacks this past year with no escape artist. This is how badly they
This
move.
also extends to the quarterback position, as all new physics-based animations will create more authentic moments when throwing under...
Whether you think escape artist is good or bad is up to each individual. I think quarterbacks need to be able to run behind the line of scrimmage, but I think contain should work in containing them. So slow quarterbacks is a bad thing for Madden because it's unrealistic, like, for how they play. But we just need counters to how fast Lamar is IRL with, like, you know, our Lawrence Taylor off the edge. He should be able to keep up and contain him because, you know, it's Lawrence fucking Taylor.
Pressure and when being hit. These are contextual moments where the positions when throwing...
Sorry, did you guys miss that part?
As all new physics-based animations will create more authentic moments when throwing under pressure and when being hit. These are contextual moments where the positioning of the defender, the QB's arm angle, and the target of the pass will all contribute to the outcome of the throw. In the moments after the play is stopped, we've overhauled the player avoidance system, making all players on the field more aware of each other and their surroundings, giving a much-needed facelift to the actions between the downs. At the same time, when the play is stopped, who doesn't love a good celebration to...
I don't. Dumb, right? They put so much effort into this. I mean, maybe they didn't put a lot of effort into it. I don't know how much this took, how much time it took to do celebrations and shit. I know they want to be Fortnite and get the kids to play their game, the next generation. But, like, what happens outside of the whistle doesn't matter nearly as much as what happens between them. So, fine. Add the fluff to your game. You change your scoreboard now every year, which I know a lot of more casual people were like, oh my god, that's how you change the game, is a scoreboard base. And it's like, okay, cool, whatever. Probably a simple change. So, user celebrations. Let's talk about this. They just added these this year to MLB The Show to replay your home runs. And it's toxic as fuck, right? It basically just triggers... The only reason is to trigger the opponent. And maybe that's something EA wants. But it leads to a more toxic online experience. Like, I think it also depends on how they do it, right? If you do a user celebration and, like, during this screen, say the play call screen pops up, I don't give a fuck, right? If it's like 2K, where, like, you could celebrate, but, like, the game's still going on, perfectly great implementation. But if I have to watch a 5-second fucking cutscene of a guy doing the goddamn nay-nay or something, then I'm going to be like, what the fuck? Let me play the fucking game, right? If these people keep extending the game every first down, every sack, every little thing they do, like a goddamn 60s song, I think that was 60s. They are just going to like basically make the game take 50 minutes instead of 30. Nah, maybe not that extreme. But they're going to extend the length of the game artificially and take after Rob Manfred, even though that's a bad example because he's ass. Don't extend the game, right? Your whole thing last year was fast to fun. Me not playing the game and me watching a fucking cutscene is not fun, right? This is like watching I don't know, a first-person shooter, and like every few seconds there's a cutscene. No, let me get back to blasting. I don't want to see this goddamn fucking
play to your opponent's face.
I don't even know what the fuck he's doing, but like I can see it, sure, as long as, like I said, I don't give a shit as long as the next play call menu's already up. Okay, so they're implemented maybe a potential way to grief, and then how is EA gonna do this? Like in an EA world, right? Are they gonna charge us for these celebrations? Is it gonna be like $2 to do like a dab, $5 for a suck it on the mutt market? We could be able to like auction house it, but or they're just gonna be in the game standard league. Like I don't know. I personally hate it. I think Madden's monetized enough if they're gonna do it, kind of like other games and their user celebrations or user stuff. I hate it, but it's an EA thing to do. So overall, user celebrations, just keep it to the end zone. I wish we had a Barry Sanders where we could just hand the ball off to the ref celebration. Regardless, once again, wasted your time, EA.
We've opened up plenty of new opportunities for user-controlled celebration and reactions throughout every game, giving you total control over how your players react after more game-changing plays. Welcome to Madden 21. Get ready to go all out starting on August 28th.
Go all out's a tagline. So overall, my feeling, I liked it, and then I hated it, and at least they buried the hate, right? The last thing was the dumbest thing. But I think on the 25th, when Clint gets on to explain more, like he's going to have to say, hey, roll-out corner's been fixed. Hey, tackles now recognize DBs blitzing on a contain. They now shift out with a guard shifting out. So I think we'll see, right? This is just the tip of the iceberg. Hopefully it's the tip of the iceberg, and they got a lot more improvements to come. But, quarterback windups need to be fixed, and this is kind of like, it is just what it is. All right, I'm excited I think I'm most excited for the tackling system. That's the thing that really was really bad this last year. I think the tackling system needed the most overhaul outside of those, balance issues that we just talked about with rollout corner, stretch dive, all that stuff. So there we go. Somebody on Twitter, very good point. He tweeted at me. Kalen Anderson. This was a good tweet. I think upgraded tackling is very important, but what it looked like, stop and go might be insane next year if you get the breakdown animation for the defender and then the speed boost away. Really good point. Breakdown animation and then hit the speed. We'll see if there's a little we'll see if the stop and go works. But here's the thing. That's kind of realistic though, right? You run up to them, they break down to tackle you, and then you speed around them. If they can reach out and tackle you, maybe. But if you can trigger it and you can exploit it, which I'm sure we're going to try a lot of it, it's not a bad idea. It's a really good idea, Kalen. Appreciate it. So let me know what you guys think. Comments below. I read them. I don't respond to them all, but I do read them all. So let me know what you guys think about the trailer about Madden 21. You guys excited? But until we meet again, thanks for watching Call to Action. See you tomorrow.